Welcome into the Common Dad Podcast. Thank you so much for listening, joining, watching, wherever you are. Thank you. I am your host, Justin, and I am, of course, joined by Andrew. How are you doing this evening, sir? What do you drink out of your tiny little glass there? Your tiny little wee glass.
This is I think they call it a nosing glass.
That sounds really pretentious.
It does, and I feel super like. Hold on, I gotta put my pinky up.
Yeah, do you like spin it, and what are you getting notes of?
Notes of bourbon.
Yeah, notes of.
I smell bourbon. I smell whiskey.
Notes of pompous bourbon.
This is Bullet,
yes.
so this isn't anything necessarily fancy. Yeah. It's but I
solid.
I drink insane amounts of it,
like your house whiskey, if you will.
It's one of the few. There is more than one. There is several. There is a plethora.
Speaking
I
of
normally
plethora,
have more than one bottle. I have reduced my count though. I used to have an excessive amount. Justin, I've shared the pictures with you.
I've seen them live.
I maintained over 20 bottles on my bar at any given time, and I have since stopped that because I can't afford it anymore.
Well, it is what it is. As long as you've got some, you're fine. You got your little glass there.
Yep.
So my boys, before we get into the meat of this thing, my boys hit
like
for the site.
My boys or your sons?
My sons, I should say, not
boys,
not the other two boys. They hit for, if I can use a baseball term, they hit for the cycle today. They all three crapped their pants today, all of them. So
batting 1,000,
and. Well, I mean, so the first one, the youngest one, he's not even 2 yet. So like he starts the day on base, right? He's there.
The top of the batting order.
Yeah, he's already on. So that's kind of a given. But I mean, my other two, not. You know, I pick up my middle child from school, and you get the old look from the teacher because I pick him up and he's not wearing the same clothes that he wore when we dropped him off, and he actually preferred a shirt out of the Lost and Found. So that was a good look. So he's wearing a Lost and Found.
He prefers the shirt that was from a Lost and Found than what you paid money for.
Yeah, and hands me a bag of poopy clothes. Yeah, I was like, "What happened today?" He didn't quite make it. Oh, great. Not that it was her fault, of course. So, but I was like, "All right, whatever. It happens." So
I don't know. You gotta wonder though. I mean, like, I think every kid in school at some point has crapped their pants.
Yeah. For sure.
Like the amount of stories I hear about it.
It's gonna happen.
Okay, why?
So from what I gathered,
is it okay that the trend is that, oh yeah, kids do it. It's like, we're just going to accept that and move on past it. Like, why don't we address the problem of like, hold on, maybe we shouldn't be doing X. Maybe we should encourage Y. Maybe like.
Well, I'm sure they're not encouraging them. Like the teacher's not looking at them like poop your pants, poop your pants, poop your pants. It's not that. So it's not
okay. But my kids are homeschooled, and when they say they have to go to the bathroom, they go to the bathroom, and they don't get their pants.
It hasn't happened one time.
Not in school, not during the school time.
Right. So,
because if they say they have to go to the bathroom, they go to the bathroom and they come back to the classroom. So what's going on in the classroom? What's the psychological thing?
Listen.
Is it that they don't want to leave because they're afraid they're going to miss something? Or is it that the teacher is like, okay, wait 5 minutes and let me finish this topic and then you can go?
Right. What
is the cause of that? Like, okay, yes, my kids are young. When they were being potty trained, did they have accidents? Of course. Every kid has accidents when they're learning. But during school, they don't really have accidents. I mean, my wife can message in the comments here if I'm wrong, but I don't think they've ever crapped their pants sitting in our like we have an extra room in the house that we've made into a classroom. It's a classroom. So they physically go to school. They have to get changed. They have to get dressed. They have breakfast in the dining room, and then they go to the classroom, and they are in school. It helps them make that mental shift that they are now in school. This is not playtime. This is school. But they don't crap their pants in school. Like,
well,
so
all right,
why does that happen so common in school?
Let me defend my 5-year-old versus you.
I'm not attacking your 5-year-old. I'm attacking the system that has made it acceptable for the entirety of society to just accept kids crapping their pants in school.
It's not acceptable. What are you going to do? Beat them when they accidentally crap themselves? Like, it's not a... It's their little... This is what happens.
Are they afraid to ask to go to the bathroom in school?
No, I guarantee...
I'm not blaming your kid. I'm blaming the school.
No, blame the kid. It's the kid that crapped his pants. Like, that's the problem. That's it.
Did he ask to go to the bathroom and she told him to wait?
This is what happened. He was playing, and everybody remembers back when you're a little kid, you got to pee or you got to poop, or you're having a good time, and you're like, no, I can absorb this back into my body. I have this.
Thanks, Schmidt.
I can poop within myself is what you think you can do, and then you feel like you've kind of done it. There's like a moment where you're like, all right, I don't have to poop anymore.
I don't know this moment you're talking about.
And then there's this false
the enlightenment.
It's not. It's the calm before the storm, if you will, because you're like, I've done it, and now you have this false hope, and then all of a sudden,
haven't.
The poo comes rushing back, and then the teacher said he was running to the bathroom and just didn't leave enough cushion there.
All I'm saying is,
so he tried. So
why
that's
is
what
that
happens.
the trend?
I don't think it's a trend. I think it's just
except every kid you ever talk to has done it at some point.
Everybody's crapped them. I crapped myself in high school one time. It just crap happens.
Crap happens.
It just
happens. New name of this episode. Crap happens.
Look, I'm trying. Okay, and then let me get to let's get to the oldest one here. And this was a classic case of...
I thought you started with the oldest. You said the first.
Started with the youngest. The first as in, the youngest.
I'm sorry. Explain to me how the first is the youngest.
I'm not explaining it. I said it wrong. There's no explaining out of there. My youngest, of course, is not even 2 yet. He craps himself every day. My middle child has not had an accident like this in a long, long, long time. Whatever. Oopsie poopsie. It happened. Oldest child today... was just out playing, and just from the looks of it, just flat out trusted a fart when he shouldn't have. And that's what it was, because he was just having a good time. We live in like a split level house, so we kind of look out over on our front yard. It's kind of like a half a story above, and I'm watching them play, and I just hear, "Oh no!" and just immediate sprint into the house.
Instant regret.
I pooped my pants. I was like, "What happened?" He goes, "I don't know." It's just
what happened? I pooped my pants.
Just pooped my pants, man. So before we get on to the true subject of this particular podcast, and I don't want a whole story and everything because I think we've talked about poo enough, but what is the oldest what's the oldest age you have pooped your pants at?
Oh gosh.
Being sick also counts.
Being sick also counts.
Yeah, we'll include that. Because I'm going to have to include that in my number.
And define pooped your pants. Like, is it a full-on lump or like even just a little moistness?
Okay. So where you're like, I got to change. I have to change my clothes.
I mean, that was like 2 weeks ago.
Okay. I mean, listen. It can happen. I know I had
that Taco Bell, and man.
I know I had
a
oopsie poopsie in high school. I don't know if I ever had one in college. Feels like I probably did, but I don't know. But certainly,
there's definitely something in your adult life where you've had some bad food. There's been some bad food on a vacation or something, and you've been traveling. You haven't been able to get somewhere.
Yep. I was. This was
just
like
a little turtle head.
This was like 5 years ago. I was quite sick, and at the time I worked an hour away from home, and in the car.
Oof.
In the car, and there was just I was driving, and I was like, "Well, this is happening. Like, what am I gonna do? Pull over? Like, just
and then what?
And then we just get in the shower with all of my clothes on when we get home." I think we've talked about poop for long enough. Stop. Immediately stop what you're doing. Thank you so much for listening, but you need to stop. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Wherever you're listening to this podcast, stop, subscribe right now. I'll give you a couple seconds. If you're driving, pull over, stop and subscribe. Okay. Thank you so much. Back to the show. Anywho, let's get on to the... Speaking of traveling, there's a transition for you. We,
Travel.
because spring break is upon us, right? Excuse me while I get set up here. Spring break is upon us, so travel is certainly upon us as fathers to venture out into this world and overpay for all the things to try to have a good time with the whole family.
Do we have to take our
involved.
kids with us, or is it spring break for us too as
in
parents?
this scenario, because we do a podcast about being fathers, I find it a good idea to pretend
You
like
should
we're
take your kids with you.
Yes, we're going.
You're not getting a spring break from your kids.
Yeah, if you have to take your family, which you should, I'm obligated to say that. You should. These will be our roadmaps, pro tips, amateur tips is probably the better thing there on what to do, and more importantly, probably what not to do. Is it goes just as well. So my first one right off the bat.
Hold on a second. I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh well. No, hold it, man. You're fine. You got it. It's fine.
I
hold it.
think that is the first one. Is go to the bathroom before you
Just
leave the
hold it.
house.
Yes,
I
that's
think that's. I think that's going to our earlier topic. I think that's the first one.
Even if you don't do it,
Even if you don't have to go,
just
go.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's what I tell my kids every time.
You as well.
Before we leave
Yeah.
the house, everybody go to the bathroom.
Yep.
I don't have to. Great, go anyways.
Just
It's
go
5
stand
minutes
over the-
into that car ride. You're going to ask me.
Yep. Just go stand over the toilet and see if you can summon up something out of you. Just anything.
Force it out.
A drop.
Strain.
Yeah.
See if
Yeah,
you can
make-
herniate
flex,
a disc.
Flex your kidney. Do that. Something. Just wring that thing out.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, just so my first thing right off the bat was I just have, without any context whatsoever, I just wrote down "don't go." That's what I have.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea. That's not a bad plan. Stay
and I'll-
local.
That is more for the holidays, if you will, or not if you will. It is for the holidays, especially when you have kids. If you are a younger dad, kind of like we are, there comes a certain threshold where I don't think we realize soon enough, but we shouldn't have to travel for every holiday anymore. People should come to us now. And I think I waited too long for that because there was a point in time where we were traveling all Texas, Ohio. I don't think we went down to Florida for holiday, but long ways. And then at a certain point where we're like, hold on, this is crazy. We have 3 kids.
But
you
that's
come to us.
different than us. So
Sure, yeah.
I understand where you are coming from in that. But my challenge is actually the exact opposite.
Okay.
Because we have so much family on her side, on his side, on theirs. Like, there is family everywhere. And there's the extended family and there's the direct family on both sides. That everybody has something going on that they're doing.
Yeah. Yep.
And you are just by default, because of your location and your proximity, expected to be there.
Yep. Because you're close.
So
it's convenient.
I am
Or so they
almost
think.
now. I've never done this, but I've been very tempted to. You know what? Hey, this Thanksgiving we're going somewhere else. We're going to go
Just
out
leave.
to eat. We're going to go do our own Thanksgiving. So rather than, so on our holidays, on our Easter, our Thanksgiving, our Christmas, those major holidays where you're spending time with family and doing those big dinners, we on average have 3 to 4 houses that we have to visit and spend time.
Jeez.
3 to 4.
That's a lot.
3 to 4 Thanksgiving meals. 3
Yeah.
to 4 Christmas meals. 3 to 4
That's a-
Christmas present opening party
Yeah.
things where we're lugging our presents to give to them, and then our kids get presents and we have to load them up into the car.
It's a
I can't
nightmare.
see out the back window. I can't see out the side windows. The kids can't see in front of them because the presents are piled on top of them.
Yeah, and don't forget to smile 'cause
Poor
it's
dog
Christmas.
is left at home the entire day for hours and hours and hours and hours with no one there because we're bouncing from point A to point
Yep.
B to point C to point D. So I am very tempted at some point to do what you kind of mentioned of, we're not going to travel from point A to B to C.
Yeah.
So by default, I don't think we can stay local because then everybody's going to say, why didn't you come?
Yeah, you're going to have to
So
get north
if
of
we
Orlando,
go
it
to a
feels like.
Disney, just as an example,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So they're going to cook, they're going to clean. I wake up, watch some TV, go down to the heated pool, come back up, go to a restaurant,
Now you're talking.
eat, go back to the room, take a nap. I don't have to clean dishes. I don't have to clean things. It's just a calm, relaxing Thanksgiving day. That sounds nice. So to me, I would almost argue you should travel. You should do what you want to do, I guess, is the resulting part of that.
I think when you first say no to somebody, it's going to hurt their feelings. But once you start doing it every year, you're not going to hurt. They'll get over it. They're family. They'll be fine. Just
now, that being said, there is something to seeing family and spending time with family and your kids growing up with family and knowing family.
But if you're to the point where you're spreading yourself so thin, you're not spending any actual quality time with somebody because you're trying to get in and out quick. You're stressed out of your mind
On to the
because
next one.
You don't want to disappoint somebody. It's just not worth it. We started doing it a couple years ago where we just called my family. Hey, we're not doing Christmas this year. It's just at our house. So if you guys want to come, cool. If not, don't feel bad. We're not going anywhere. We're not seeing anybody else but us. And we've had visitors and we've not had.
I'm going to
visitors.
invite you
That's
to
fine.
Thanksgiving now.
Please do. I won't be there, but invite me. I mean, I think every Thanksgiving for the last at least 5 years, we've traveled up to Ohio for two reasons. The first reason, of course, I want to spend. Yes, because I want to spend Thanksgiving with my family. Of course. But also, I kind of want to be in Ohio for the Ohio State-Michigan game. It just feels right. I'm not going to the game, but it just.
So, I mean, I was up there last year for 2 weeks before the game. 2 weeks before the game? 3 weeks before the game? Something like that. I was there in November.
You were two.
I was there in November, and it was nice. It was nice. You started to see the M's getting crossed out. You felt the cold brisk of the air. It was nobody cared about the game that was happening that weekend.
No,
all the talk
window dressing
was that game.
It's window dressing when you get into November. All right, so let's talk about the long rides. Not necessarily holidays, but just kind of some strategies for that. Now, you brought up
if you're driving to a vacation. You mean
if you're driving, you brought up a point kind of pre-show about how you pre-plan it out, right?
You definitely have to plan it out, and the first thing on the plan is go to the bathroom.
Yes, but I'm talking about how you plan your trip. Like you get your stops, you get your
so
you've got an actual.
I go a little bit
blueprint.
more excessive. I try to plan even my stops, both bathroom breaks and more specifically gas breaks, and hoping that we can make the gas breaks bathroom breaks and meal breaks.
Double down on those.
I spend a fair bit of time on the old Google Maps, the old what was it, MapQuest, whatever that was.
MapQuest, yes.
Planning out the estimated time from point A to point B, and if I leave at this time, that means I'm arriving there at this time, and there's a Costco gas station here that I can get gas at, and then there's a restaurant here we could grab food at, and if we do a 30-minute fast food meal, then we can be on the road by this time and we can hit that place by this time. And frankly, a lot of that goes to the wind as soon as you hit the road and you come upon your first traffic jam. You get behind schedule and you're never going to catch back up to schedule, but you're trying the whole time. But there is something to having my gas stops pre-planned. I never worry about the gas. I know my gas mileage. I know my ranges. I'm able to find the cheapest. I mean, I have a Costco membership, and Costco is one of the best places to get gas if you can. So I try to find Costco gas stations, and that means a lot of times I'm stopping well before a quarter of a tank. I still got plenty of room to go, but I'm going to stop and get gas because it's going to be 30, 40, 50 cents cheaper at Costco than somewhere else. And we can hit the bathroom. We could go inside. They got the hot dogs. They got pizza. They got what's their chicken wrap thing?
Chicken logs is what I call them.
Something like that. So they got food. They got bathrooms that are clean. They got gas. We can knock out a lot of stuff right there in one quick stop.
I think it's either the Costco or if you can map out the if our listeners aren't as lucky as you to be a member of
members
Costco.
only.
It's,
Members only.
It's a tough club. They only give them to so many people. But the key for me is, because I am not fortunate to be in that particular club, but I will map out like and this is weird, the nice gas stations, like the Travelers, the if you live in the South, the Buc-ee's, those, because nice. you can hit like you said, gas, bathroom, food. It's all one stop.
Buc-ee's bathrooms are nice, man. Buc-ee's bathrooms are nice.
I've always wanted to take a shower in one of those and just see
see
good. How's the water pressure, just see how it goes.
Maybe if you have a bathroom incident in the car on the road, you might need to shower, but
just shower off, it's fine. So yeah, I think the planning it, and if you can wrap all those things into one stop shop, if you will, that's it. I also put on here FaceTime or screen time rather. I'm not really putting a hard and fast rule on the screen time.
Like unlimited screen time.
Yeah, like if we can avoid it, we can avoid it. Like if we got Legos,
we'll play games if we can, but
I'm not gonna look. There's better parents out there than I am, but I'm not listening to a fit for an hour if I can just slap a screen.
Daddy's got to concentrate on the road, and I want a calm car. Our kids have headphones that they wear, so they can sit there. They have their own iPads. A lot of times they like to share, and they'll sit there and watch a show together.
Right.
They'll actually, even if we tell them you each have you can watch whatever you want.
Yeah.
We'll find at some point one of our sons is playing something together on his own iPad in front of him. Yeah. And they're looking over at their brother's iPad, watching their brother's iPad. And we're like, all right, just turn yours off. Just watch together. It's fine. Nobody's upset with you doing that.
Run that battery out.
Oh, there's no running the battery out. We got. I have like 6-foot cables that have them all plugged in the back.
Yeah,
exactly. Oh, they're not running out anytime soon. No.
Have you ever wanted to do? Now that we're talking about, have you ever wanted to do like a cross country trip in like a big RV? Has that ever like been something you've thought would be a good time?
Not the RV. I have thought it would be really cool to get a group of people together, like even
party
families.
Bus?
No, and do a cannonball run.
Okay, that would be
like a family versus family cannonball run, and you have to hit certain checkpoints that are like photo stops, and so you have to get like photos in front of. You have to have a family photo in front of the Grand Canyon. You have to have a family photo in front of. Pick a place in Nashville. I don't know, the Gibson Guitar Factory in Nashville.
The biggest ball of yarn. Whatever.
Exactly. You pick these stops along the way, and you do a family versus family cannonball run across America.
Yeah,
I've always felt like that would be kind of cool.
That would be a good time. I would like to do that. Thank you so much for listening to the Common Dad podcast. We are so thankful to all of our listeners and followers, and we have heard you loud and clear. We would love to introduce our new line of Common Dad merch right down there at the link below. We got t-shirts, we got hoodies, we got hats, we got travel mugs. If you want to see another item in the store, leave us a comment, let us know. We will get to work. Thank you again. Now, back to the show. I got two more things here. This also, I guess, like my theme here is, if you're a kid, you should really take advantage of this, because at least for me, my rules on the road is there's almost none. So my next thing is here is just unlimited snacks. I don't care. I'm gonna have
the snacks are good.
Chips,
the
goldfish.
The problem there is the drinks you start having. Well, it's not even the poop. I've never had a problem with the poop. With the poops,
we have poop problems
because of the snacks, not because of the snacks.
You don't feed them laxatives?
All the time.
Is that what we should not be doing?
The chips.
Okay.
No, the problem is you have all those salty snacks. Everybody wants the salty snacks on the road, and then you're chugging, Gatorades and waters and things like that.
If they say they're thirsty, you just get a squirt bottle, put that thing on mist, just open up. Everybody gets a spritz.
One little mitts.
Just one.
But yeah, that causes then the bathroom.
True.
Breaks.
Yeah.
I'm generally speaking with you, and I think we've even done a podcast on the best snacks out there, and I think you could almost take that into a best road snacks for like road trips.
They're all pretty
because it's certainly different because you need something that like you don't have to like. I think one of our things was Pop-Tarts in the snack episode.
Pop-Tarts money.
That's not necessarily a great road trip.
Oh, snack. I disagree.
Well, you're wrong.
What? It's everything you want. Like, it's
so combos was it's combos. Combos are the road trip snack.
That's fine. Combos. Yeah, for whatever reason, I only eat combos when I'm on the road.
But combos was not even in our snack episode.
It's just something you eat when you drive, and I don't know why, but I do agree. It's just there.
So you're proving my point that we should do a separate episode on. I normally do the cheese and cracker or the cheese and pretzel. Or the
those are good.
Yeah, cheese and pretzel, I think.
I like those.
Anyways. Really, most of my tips center around the bathroom.
Yeah, it's
I want to have those regular bathroom breaks.
There's a theme around
I used
this
to do
episode.
most of my trips around the kids being asleep because then I could make the most time.
Yeah.
Because they weren't going to the bathroom, they were asleep. If they were asleep, then I could get longer runs in between each of my stops.
Okay.
So I used to we do a road trip every year up to North Carolina, and I for the first several years we did it, we would leave our house at 10 or 11 p.m. Everybody, including my wife, would pile into the car and pass out. And then I would drive through the night by myself
just
from 9, 10 p.m., something like that, somewhere around there. I forget exactly what it was. And I would haul the entire way there, and we would pull into our destination, the actual end stop, around 7 or 8 in the morning. Everybody would wake up. They would go to breakfast, and I would take a nap in the car. And then we would get into our actual hotel around like noon. We'd start meeting people and hanging out around noon. And I would sleep from basically breakfast until noon, napping in the car. And I've recently changed that, and we've added a stop just to make things easier.
Yeah.
We stop overnight, and we plan it to be a 2-night drive, and I'm not trying to do it in one night anymore because then I'm trying to recover the entire time. Mm-hmm. Now we stop on the way, and we do a healthy chunk of it, and they watch their iPads, and we have a good time, and we stop for meals, and there's no rush at all. Who cares when we get there? I plan my stops. I plan my gas stops, but then we stop overnight, and we hang out, get a steak dinner, get a bourbon, hang out, couple of beers, get a good night's rest, wake up in the morning, and we finish the last hour or two.
There you go. I used to be able to do the same thing, just drive straight through, but I just can't do it anymore. The last thing I have here, and this came from a rough trip going up to Tennessee. There's two things here. So first of all, your child is always changing, and new allergies are always a possibility. So we took a trip up to Tennessee one time, and there was 2 things we found out about one of our children that we didn't know. That road sickness was apparently a thing. We were driving to like Pigeon Forge, anyway, winding up the Smoky Mountains, and on the way down, just vomit galore, and it was just pure road sickness. And then once one started going, the other one started going, and it's
chain reaction.
And it was just like I turned around and they exploded. It was just. I was like, what do we do? So now we're stopped. Like we're trying to wipe them off with wipes. Like there's no bath around, and we're breaking into the luggage to change. And so my thing is be as prepared for something like that as you possibly can. I don't know. Maybe bring some Dramamine.
We always have a thing of like we buy the butt wipes, but then we use them as just like face wipes,
just
and
a shower in a bag, if you will. Yeah.
We always have a pack of those in the car.
Bring something we've started bringing is just a couple trash bags, just because you never know when you just might need a trash bag.
Get to that rest stop and you just take the bag and dump it, and you're done with all your trash.
And if you're going somewhere you've never been, particularly your children have never been, bring some Benadryl. We turned around in the middle of this trip, and this rough trip for him. He looks like he got in a fight with Mike Tyson. His eyes are puffed out. His cheeks are...
Oh, no.
Buddy, are you okay? And he's like, I'm fine. What's wrong with my face? And like, I can't even see your eyes. It
Will
was at that
Smith
point
from
yeah. I mean,
Hitch,
it was comical. Like he was just. I was like, do we need to go to the hospital? Like this is crazy. Of course, a little Benadryl, we were fine. He wasn't itchy or anything, but we found out that Tennessee, in that particular like Smoky Mountains, is like one of the most diverse places for like plant
Pollens
life
and things
in
like
the
that.
world, not in the entire world. So if you're allergic to something, that's the place to go find it. So be prepped with like a first aid kit / like just emergency kit, something like that.
Right.
So because what's the saying? If it can happen, Murphy's Law. What's Murphy's Law? What can happen?
What can go wrong will go wrong.
There you go. Yeah. What can go wrong will go
So
wrong.
yeah, I mean,
for
I
sure.
think having wipes and trash bags handy and at the ready, and if this is all for the car trip, so having the wipes
Yeah.
and the trash bags at the ready is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Having we always we have this small cooler, and it's essentially
go.
my cooler for the road trips.
Just
we
a
put it
six-pack?
in a place that I can reach so that I don't have to ask people to help me. I don't have to ask anybody for anything. If everybody's asleep, I'm not worried. I can reach in, I can open it, I can close it, I can get in. I've usually got a couple of Red Bulls in there. I've got a 5-hour energy in there. I don't necessarily take them all at the same time. It's just options.
Yeah.
Not to say I haven't done that before, but
Yeah.
it's not
Start
for
seeing
that.
colors and stuff. Yeah.
Snacks
Hearing
are in
colors.
there. Gatorades are in there. I basically just have options. I have a Gatorade. I have a water. I have a Red Bull. I have a 5-hour. I have options so that when I have the inkling for something, I have it there.
Mm-hmm.
It's all things that I like. It's not necessarily that I'm going to use them all. It's just I don't want to have to stop and go get something when I'm like, oh, I could really use a Red Bull right now.
Yeah, you've just got it ready to go.
Let me just have one in the bag just in case I
Yep.
need it. If I don't need it, great. Not a problem. I'll have it another time. Whatever.
Right. Yep.
But if I need it, I don't want to have to stop and go get it, and I don't want to
Yep.
have to like be, feeling all sluggish. So I like to have a small cooler with my stuff in it, and it's kind of just my driving kit.
Just be insanely over prepared.
Right.
It's worth
Correct.
it. It's absolutely worth it. I do the same
So
thing.
do you have? So most of these have all been for road trips. Mm-hmm. What do you do if you're flying?
Yeah, I have a very strong stance on this. I don't take my kids on flights unless they're absolutely 1,000% ready.
Refer back to tip number 1. Don't.
Don't go. Don't
go.
My wife did this with one or two of my kids. I don't remember. She went out to LA and she was like, "Yeah, we're flying." I was like, "All right, good luck. I'm not. I won't be a part of this. I won't be party to it." And she did it. And she said it was
I don't
fine.
think it's as bad as you're. I get what you're getting at, and I think
It's
if you have
my
small
nightmare.
kids,
yes, it's and now
I could
some
get
people
that.
have to. Some people you have like you're moving, you have to do it. So I get
sure.
that.
Well, you fly when you move. That's weird. I
I don't know
I
if
guess
you
that makes
move
sense if
far
you hire a
enough.
company to move for you.
Yeah,
then
I don't know.
I mean, so as I mentioned, I was in Ohio in November last year, in 22. I flew with my oldest son. Now, I didn't take both my kids. It wasn't
Right.
my wife and I and the kids. It was me and one of my kids. So, be that as it may, it wasn't really all that bad. Now, he's 8 now. He was 7 at the time. I would say the snacks are important. The good thing there is that airports have plenty of kiosks and
Yeah.
snack machines and stores
there's
that you can get snacks and
So
restaurants.
fairly
and-
priced also.
well, and so that's the tip is be
Yeah.
ready to spend that money and don't
Yeah.
worry. Don't sit there and fret about the $1 here, $2 there. If you're
Right.
worried about an overpriced bottle of water in an airport, you probably shouldn't be flying in the first place.
Right. Yeah. And you're going to have to get it anyway, so don't worry about it. It doesn't matter.
It's not going
If
to
you
change
need-
anything.
If
You're
you need
going to
the
have
water,
to get
you're going to get it. Yeah. There's no sense in
it. Right.
worrying about it.
We had an option to share cars with other people who were going on the trip as well. I opted not to do that because I wanted the freedom and ability to travel my own way on my own time.
For sure.
And I highly, 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 highly recommend that. You don't want to be in a place that you're potentially unfamiliar with and then reliant on either
Somebody
public
else.
transportation or somebody else to get you from point A to point B.
Especially if you have a kid.
Things like that.
You're not going to catch an
if
Uber
you've got
with
a
a
car
kid.
seat, if the kids are in a car seat or in a booster or something like that, if you've got luggage,
Rent a car.
You're trying to move around, rent a car. Doesn't have to be a big thing. Rent a car. They're so inexpensive nowadays. Yeah. And that, again, goes back to the budgeting. But rent a car, and it will make your life infinitely easier. And I was only traveling with one. Maybe it would have been different if I was traveling two. But I feel like having my own car would have been even better.
Yeah.
If I had more than one kid with me at that time.
Probably. I would think so.
Because now I'm not trying to load multiple people up into an Uber or into somebody else's car. It's my own car. I make my own time. I do what I need to do. So I wouldn't fret the snacks. I wouldn't fret the small things. We got a travel booster seat for our oldest. It was this really kind of compact folding transformer thing that folded down really nice and small and compact. It was a pain in the butt to use, but I only had to use it for 4 days. So I don't really care. It was easy to travel with. We had backpacks each. We didn't actually pack any suitcases. He had a backpack. I had a backpack. We went on our way. And we were gone for 4 days. We flew. We rented a car. We went to a football game. It was a fantastic time. And I had no problem flying at all with him. It wasn't a problem.
I guess the older I get this way. I don't like flying on planes at all because I hate the feeling of no control. Like I like driving in a car because I want to be able to pull over. And even more than that, I hate the feeling of inconveniencing other people. And like my nightmare is, my kid has a flip out, freak out attack, and he's screaming. And like I just can't, I can't get it under
pants in the middle of the airplane.
Poops, vomits, like everything that could go wrong goes wrong at the same time, and I can't get it under control. And everybody on this airplane hates me, and they got to deal with it for the next 5 hours. I know that probably won't happen, but like the thought of that just deters me from putting it off as long as possible. So I'm sure it will happen, but it hasn't happened yet, and I will continue to vacation to where I can drive as long as possible.
The one type of trip I do want to try that I've yet to try is a train trip.
That would be cool. I would be down for a train trip.
We live near actually like an Amtrak and a Tri-Rail and a Brightline, I think is the other one. Mm-hmm. And some of them are actually very luxurious, and they do trips all the way to like North Carolina and Tennessee, and I've not done a lot of research on it, but you can catch trains just about anywhere. There's trains all over the place. And you can find sleeper cars, you can find food cars, and I feel like it would be kind of cool to travel across the country in a train.
Like a homeless person in a Disney movie from 1972.
There you go.
It'd be awesome. It'd be
that so cargo container.
Yeah, I could do it.
I'm thinking a little bit different than that, but sure, that would be an experience too.
Let's do a train. We'll podcast from the train with the kids, and then we'll give live tips as it's just all going downhill. Hey, let's not do a train ride in Ohio. Can we cross that off the list? No Ohio train rides. We'll stick to the
I'm
stick
good
to the East
that.
Coast and West Coast.
You do it, and then you could join us from there.
Yeah, all right. If you have any other tips, of course, let us know. We'll add them to the list because, quite frankly, we don't know what we're talking about. We're just
not a clue.
Here. Not a clue. So let us know if we left anything off, particularly the airplane tips. If you have any other airplane tips that could help me, please let me know because I don't want to do it, but it is way more convenient to fly. I introduced my kids to Castaway today. That was an intense scene. We watched that part and that part home. We watched that part only, and it was like, all right, kids, bedtime, and that was it. So, yeah, I'm a good dad. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to the Common Dad Podcast. Do not forget to listen to us on Spotify, on Apple, we're on Amazon. Where else are we?
You name it. Just about every podcast site for the most part.
We are where you can find us, and as I've said before, if we're not there, you shouldn't be listening.
Let us know so that we can be there as well.
That's right. Yes. Or just don't listen there. Listen somewhere else. It's very easy to find us. But on our YouTube channel as well, like, subscribe, follow there, hit the little bell. You'll get a notification on your phone just like that lets you know when we drop a new episode. Thank you so much for listening, We will see you next time.